Hi, welcome back to my blog post. This is for week 8, assignment number 9. So, we were asked to further explore non practicing enterprises. In my past two posts, I kind of broke down what they were and then the controversy surrounding them. However, I wanted to look at non practicing enterprises in a different light, so I thought the best way to do that would be to actually study one of the largest non practicing enterprises, intellectual ventures. So, I'm first just going to give you a little bit of background on it, a further analysis into the company, and then why there's so much controversy over this company, and lastly kind of defending it, and just gonna conclude very quickly. So from the Understanding Intellectual Ventures, just some quick background. It was started in 2000 by Microsoft veterans Nathan Mirahovold. I don't know how to say his last name, but it's written in the blog post if you want to get a more accurate depiction of how it's actually spelled, and then Edward Jung. And it's collected close to 70,000 intellectual assets, and it has control over 40,000 of them. They've taken a lot of heat in the past. I'm sure they're still getting a lot of heat today. They've also been compared to the mafia in the tech world and are considered one of the biggest patent trolls and one of the most hated tech companies. So I was curious as to why, and this is for a few different reasons. One, it's mainly because they're built for litigation, because they don't have any products or services. They don't have any discovery costs, so they literally have nothing to lose. So I think companies oftentimes feel very threatened by the power that they have in this sense, and sometimes they feel that the patent system is actually in favor of non practicing enterprises. So I think just in general, because intellectual ventures is one of the largest NPEs, and just like the negative stereotypes surrounding NPEs, it gets a lot of heat. But I wanted to really understand what intellectual ventures did. So when I did my research, I noticed that it was actually broken into two main parts. We'll talk about the first part, which is the think tank part. And this is a part where the employees' intelligence and their brilliance really shines through. They create their own patents. They sit and have these brainstorming sessions where they spend hours on end creating their own new patents. They actually, on average, have 30 new patents a month. And this is where they create solutions to problems that are some of today's most pressing issues, and to problems that we don't even know exist currently. The think tank portion has actually turned into a few different companies. The first is TerraPower, which is building a new, cleaner nuclear reactor, and then Kymeta, which produces antennas that improve satellite connections to anything from airplanes to mobile hotspots. So they categorize this as the fun side of the business, which again just shows the intelligence and brilliance of their employees. The other side of their business is in fact the troll side of their business, and that is the part I think that people have the most problem with. It's the very aggressive, assertive, and lawyer-driven organization that's looking to make money from the insane amount of patents that it owns and controls. This is a part that does receive a lot of criticism. However, without this part, they wouldn't be able to fund all of their groundbreaking innovations that they come up with in the think tank. So they do, in this situation, really act hand in hand. Also, the CEO, Nathan, said that they understand they have a public or a negative public image, and they are trying to rectify and change that. But at the end of the day, he said that his main goal is to make sure that inventors do get their fair share and that they get paid, because he said it doesn't really make sense that someone else is using a technology that you invented. You should definitely be getting some of that profit as well, which completely makes sense, which is why they do acquire those patents and they do go after companies who are using them. So I think in the end, that's their rationalization for it. They're not trying to hinder development or growth. They actually are just trying to make sure that everyone gets their equal fair share, and especially if you invented something. And in addition, this money also funds them being able to create their own patents, which really helps spur and grow our technology. So again, I kind of already discussed why people hate them. It's just because they are a non-practicing enterprise, but I think it's also because sometimes they go after startups. They're not always going after large companies like Samsung or SAP or HTC. So I think in some regards, people maybe are not super big fans of that because it could easily shut down a startup. But in the end, like the CEO said, he feels that inventors should get their fair share. Just one last thing in defense of intellectual ventures. I talked about the fact that they do have their brainstorming sessions where they are producing their own patents. So I think a lot of the times why people have issues with them is because they look at them as a bully who are just acquiring other people's patents and bullying them, but they're actually in-house creating their own solutions. So they are trying to help spur technological advancements. But overall, I found this to be a super interesting issue. Sorry that this video is kind of long. There was a lot of information to learn about this, but I'd love to hear your comments. Maybe after this you're still not convinced about NPEs, or maybe you never had my original point of view and you always thought that they were super beneficial. But I look forward to your comments, and thank you for watching.